Hello world, and welcome to Star Ruler 2. Decided to start recording some stuff with this game because I love it, and it really deserved better than what it got. It didn't sell very well, and Blind Mind Studios, the people who made this, had to not really close, but shut down, as it were. They never officially declared bankruptcy, but they didn't make enough money to continue making games, so they just kind of went inactive. So as such, this game doesn't have any official support anymore, but it's still really good. Using Intel processor, I don't get many glitches with this game. It used to crash a bit on my old computer that had an AMD processor, so that might be some kind of programming issue. But anyway. So, a lot of the other videos I've seen on YouTube, I haven't bothered to search through them all, because I'm sure there's a billion. Most people seem to choose this kind of milquetoast characters, the Terrakin, recommended for beginners, because there's not anything strange about them, they're just people. But I'm going to be the mono. They're the machine race. They don't need food or water, but as a downside, they cannot use shipyards or dry docks. But who cares, because they're freaking machines. Gotta love that. I'll put in one of each race. Get them going. Put them on aggressive. And I won't bias them against human players for now. Maybe in a future game. So for now, they'll hate everybody equally. Wrong click. I don't think I'm going to be doing much tutorializing in this video because pretty much I'm sure there's a bunch of other tutorializing videos on YouTube for this game anyway. I'll up the galaxy sizes, put a couple of them in. Go with 3. Game options. Keep all this stuff on default. But since I'm not going to do a shitload of tutorializing, I'm going to be probably not talking very much. Which is probably for the best anyway. I'm sure your people are already annoyed with my voice by now. Customize our race. I'll make my weapons green. I'll stick with the Mechanica ships. These are just ship models. There's no actual difference. Just makes them look different if you zoom in. And I'll keep all the default personality, starting traits, and whatnot. Alrighty. Let's have at it. Alright, let's get our scouts scouting. The biggest thing about the mono in comparison to all of the other races that you can choose from is that their population does not grow naturally. You have to actually spend money and labor creating your own population in order to expand. As a result, monos are not played very well by the AI, as well as another race called the Nili. They're not ever played very well by the AI either. They're just not very good at taking advantage of the unique characteristics of these two races. But anyway, as a result of having to build your own population, if you play as the mono, you're going to spend pretty much all of your money for a good starting portion of the game on just that. So the major weakness for this species is if they get attacked early on, they're kind of boned. As such, they're not particularly useful at being used against other human players because that can be very easily taken advantage of. I'm going to obsolete all this stuff and import all of my previously created designs for this species. A lot of it has tech that I haven't researched yet, so that's why these did not import. One of my scouts already got killed. It's unfortunate. Nice. Ooh. This is going to be a close one. Or not, I'm just going to die. Shite balls. Oof. Getting myrtleized. There it went. Oh well. The default designs are crap anyway. I was going to get rid of that ship eventually. I'll just have to do that earlier now. Build a good ship. One of my own dreadnoughts. I can afford that right now. Oh, gotta buy. There we go. Just gotta spend that money before the cycle turns over, or it goes to waste. Doesn't really go to waste. It would have been funneled in to give me some influence generation, but building population is a little more important than that. Oh, this bastard gained some veterancy off of the killing me. Another important advantage that you have to take advantage of as the mono is that their population gives them labor. For normal races, labor can only be given by labor producing resources or by building factories, which are expensive to maintain. But the mono can have labor on any planet that has 3 population or more. Or rather, any planet that's level 1, which for the mono is basically any planet that has a resource on it, since they don't require food and water to level their planets like other races do. This planet's going to build a lot more slowly than the homeworld is, but building in 2 places at once is better than building at just 1. Oof, just food and water here. I'll be able to terraform those later once I've gotten my economy in order. Another difference the mono has is that they use FTL points to teleport their population directly onto other planets, whereas everybody else has to actually send ships that can be shot down, etc. Need a tier 2 resource to level up my homeworld again. Got one right here. But if I go below 6 population, I'm going to de-level the homeworld, which will reduce its labor output again. Don't want to do that. Fingers crossed. Yes, got the research. Some of these anomalies can go bad on you and spawn enemies to kill your scouts. But this planet has some labor on it now, so let's get a 3rd producer going. 3rd population builder. few diplomacy points. Influence. Can't afford anything worth buying though. This plan will give me some defense generation, which will help me build support ships for my fleets. Until then, I might have to actually spend some money on that. See if I can afford it. If I borrow money from the next cycle, I can build one tracer. But borrowing money is expensive. It says it costs $219 here, but if half of that's going to come from the next budget cycle, then the half that's borrowed from here is like doubled. So it'll actually cost me like $500 to build this if most of it's coming from the next budget cycle. So might as well wait. Ooh, unlock neutronium armor. That's handy. Neutronium armor is way over here, which I guess isn't super far away from the starting area, but regardless, that's that much less research that needs to happen. Oh. I forgot to give him another order after scanning that. Well, at least scouts are cheap. Another population. Start populating that guy. Zygus. Nah, don't have to worry about that crap right now. Ooh, favors. Wait for that to get cheaper. Give me a diplomacy card for a little bit of money. Ooh, got an ancient knowledge. That's worth it. Oh yeah. Gotta love my tracer. It's bigger than the frickin' dreadnought that it's following. How much space do I have left? A bit. He's at 2k now, that veterancy. Oh, my diplomacy's above the cap. It's reducing my income. Might as well buy an attitude. These attitudes give you various bonuses for achieving their goals, as it were. Go with progressive. That's always nice to get. Especially early on, because these requirements are not retroactive. They only start counting after you've purchased the attitude. So I just gotta get one tech unlock, which is one of these star-shaped things that actually gives you a new piece of tech. Everything else just improves the crap you've already got. Oh, I've got enough research. What should I get? We'll go with armoring so I can just buy the bulkheads. Most technology requires you to unlock it using research points, but there are things that can be unlocked with resources being spent on it instead, which is always advantageous, especially if you don't have a super lot of research income. Just need 2 more population to get this guy to start producing his tier 2 resource. Then I need to find some desert tiles so I can build barracks. There's a good patch of desert. Probably get like 5 in there. Oh, I'm at the Hunan. I can't afford to do anything right now, so let's build one of these. These only take labor, no actual money cost. Go with the rare metals. Give me some research income. Nice. So now I'm gonna get some defense generation going. Might as well build some space elevators. Well, I'll focus on expanding first before I worry about fleet stuff too bad. Ooh, there's no remnants in here. Free anomalies. Oh no, the Nilly. That's an armor and a half scout there. I designed my scouts to just be giant engines so they can get around fast. They're cheap enough that their survivability is not really a factor. If they get killed, just build a few more. Spice on that one. Oh, somebody in the galaxy actually cares about this. Ooh, 10% reduced research costs. That's pretty sweet. 100k permanent income increase, though. That's nice. Oh man, I have not been paying attention to my influence. Could buy a few cards, or 1 card anyway. Permanent income. That's pretty tempting. I'll try and see if I can win at being the least supportive. That'll give me that extra monies so I can build more peeps. Thing is, the Nilly is pretty sweet. The AI can't do it for crap, but as the Nilly, you don't actually inhabit planets directly. Instead, all your population floats around it in these space stations, which sounds pretty vulnerable, and it can be, but as a result, highly leveled up planets that have a large population have a crap load of completely free defense satellites. It's just that every one of those that gets killed is one less population on the planet, which can be a problem if you're actually getting destroyed. Oof. A lot of people trying to get the reduced research costs, but nobody's even gotten close to my 12 opposition yet. So as long as this is still in the negative when it passes in 2 minutes, I'm gonna get me some cash. Just have to remember to keep an eye on that thing. Oh, spend a little money on another tracer to add to this support group. These are 96 each. He's got 150 space left, so he can only fit one more anyway. How are these guys doing on their projects? Give them a few more. Dang. That one has a very, very low chance to work, it seems. Ooh, got me that asteroid built. This needs some Mark II. Oh yes, that's completed. Get my homeworld up to level 3, baby! Now I need to get the population up. Pressure capacity is tied to population, current population. So I should be able to handle that pressure easily once my population's up. Bring a few people in from the outer rims. More labor's nice. Oh, anomaly. I already unlocked neutronium armor, so I guess I'm going with increase all armor HP. Oh, it's passing. That's not good. No! Oh, someone else played an ancient knowledge. Crap. Ooh, plus 13. Yeah. Welp. I guess I wasted that ancient knowledge. Get that for later. There's the Hunan. Damn. Those scouts went all the way over here very quickly. Okay, what am I at now? 1.6. Oh yes, I need to get this tracer on you. Give a few hundred extra power. Should be enough to kill this guy. I might have been able to win already. Power, fleet strength is not a perfect representation of how capable a fleet is or how powerful it is, because this is just basically the DPS multiplied by the total health of the fleet. Is pretty much all this number is. And when you can design your own ships to be a lot smarter than the random number generator that creates all the AI ships, you can find weaker, quote-unquote weaker fleets outperforming stronger ones pretty easily. Oof. Frickin' Herald Beacon. Heralds are a very odd race to play as. You can either become amazing or get screwed immediately. Because they start with 3 of these beacons just randomly distributed throughout the existence of the universe. And those serve basically as their homeworlds. So you could, like this guy did, end up spawning inside someone else's territory. So they are going to be at war very early in the game. And that Herald Beacon might get destroyed as a result, which will greatly cripple the Heralds in the long run. Ooh, got me full population going. Aw, I am a little over pressure. Got to build me some metropolises. These increase the pressure capacity of a planet by 5. I have some influence income now, which means I forgot to spend my money last cycle. Okay, now I'm at 4.7 with a full fleet complement. So let's go murder some remnants. Ship is slow as balls. But that's how it goes. God damn. Oh, this is a new one. +2 energy. That would be nice. I don't have any of that yet. Oh yes, I'm the mono. I forget things every now and again, although I have been spending all my money on population recently, since it's what you do at the start of the game. The mono can start from the beginning of the game. They're allowed to build these solar engines, which are just giant-ass solar panels, which give them energy income independent of any kind of energy producing resource, which is nice. You just have to be willing to spend the money on it. They're not too expensive to upkeep, just 25k. But you can only have 1 per solar system. City's built. There we go. What's in the center? The center of the galaxies always have the best stuff. To incentivize conflict, of course. Because everybody wants to go for the best stuff. And if it's all in the middle, then everyone's going to meet in the middle. There's Moranium over there. Those might be worth looking at. Ooh, Psyllium. That's good. Of course, the best part, one of the best parts about being the mono, is that your homeworld starts out as unobtainium. And unobtainium is not a resource in and of itself, but what it is it allows you to take any resource on any planet that you have colonized and suddenly make your unobtainium into that resource forevermore. So all I gotta do is teleport, get enough FTL energy, which isn't much, only 120, 130, to go wherever I want. Just gotta teleport a population down around here, and then I own that resource, even if it's nowhere near my territory, and then poof, I can make this into the same thing, and then pull my population back. But I think I'll save that for now. Psyllium is great, but if I could take this area without having to waste my homeworld on it, then I won't need to. Ooh, the Moranium generators are neat. It's risky though, because it gives you a more powerful generator for your ship designs, but if you lose the planet, they all stop working, which means your ships become fucked. What? This bastard killed my ship again. Son of a gun. What an ingrateful little douche. We've got some diplomacy. Gonna have to spend my money on an actual tough ship. Go with my light battleship design. Size 200, that should be more than enough to kill this douche. And we'll spend some money on getting it some actual fleet support. Ugh, can't really afford to do anything other than that. But at least it'll spawn with some beam ships. Help it kill things. Oh yes, I need to build me my barracks. Oh, I'm digging into the next budget cycle. Don't want to do that. It's not really worth it when you can just wait. But yeah, right now I would be in utterly fuckery state if any of these guys were close enough to want to fight me. But I should be able to build up in time to not have to worry about it. Yeah, the main reason that the AI sucks at playing the Nilly in particular is that the Nilly population grows on the mothership that they start the game with. And even though it has combat power, it's still a civilian ship. But the AI likes to charge it in to attack other things anyway because, hey, I've got a military ship, I can fight with this. And then it explodes, and then they can't expand anymore because they have nothing to build population with. Alrighty. 15k out the gate. Better be enough to kill this goddamn thing. For fuck's sake. Go murder it. Eventually I'll get around to building some gates. Because the Mono's FTL of choice is FTL gates, which basically act as wormhole generators, kind of like Stargate. You just build one, and then you can go from that to any other one you have in the universe instantaneously. I have two designs for those. One that's just a cheapo little dude to get some transportation going. It's just nothing but the gate itself and some armor to help it stay alive. Then I have one for later on in the game, which is basically a defense platform in and of itself. Definitely more survivable if I'm at war. Since when at war, gates become a very strategic target. For people, anyway. AI, as previously stated, not so good at doing things intelligently. They'll ignore gates most of the time, just because they're not combatant stations. Well, the one that doesn't have weapons on it, at least. The other one is a combatant station, so they'll attack these, but regardless. Yeah, your ass is grass now, son. Get fucked. That took long enough. Instant bonus research points. Oh, speaking of research, I haven't done any of that in a while. We'll go over here. Try to get me some mega cities. These guys are really nice. They're basically improved versions of the Metropolis, except they also increase energy, influence, and research generation on the planet where they're built. So if you can pile these guys on, then you can get some pretty sweet generation going. Oh no, I didn't spend my money in time. Oh well. Yeah, might as well get this one. Leverage against someone I've not met, which is why I'm not allowed to buy it. Let's pick up this luxury tokens. Gonna get me some negotiate cards for free. Man, somebody's going at it. Alrighty. Now let's go murder this one. How's my population? I have greatly neglected my expansion. Get a few building on every planet. Ooh, these guys got quite a few built up. Alright. Let's populate this Mark II. Now I need a Mark I. There we go, some natural gas. Swiggity swank! Oh, that's right, you have to colonize it first. There's the terraform option. Once I've expanded enough and have the money to support the activity, start terraforming these useless food and water planets into something my machine guys can use. Where'd my scouts go? Somewhere in here there's a wormhole to the other galaxy. On maps where you've input multiple galaxies, there's always wormholes bridging them two together. Each galaxy should have one bridge to each of the other galaxies, making it a pretty strategic point. If you conquer one galaxy and don't want some neighbor coming in taking your shite. Start exploring the next galaxy. So what's this one all about? That one's only important for people who are actually conquering each other. We'll buy some favors. Energy clash. Ooh, bureaucracy is nice. As long as nobody sabotages it on you to get rid of it. It'll give you free leverage cards against everybody else. Or rather people who start votes. I'm doing competitively. I have a shit score compared to these guys, but the Nilly are suffering, as always. Oh yes. Pick up that research data. Give me some free research points up in here. Queue that up. Ooh, found the Oko. Ah, sadness. That's not friendly at all. Oh hey, there's the other bridge. Send my slow-ass bastard scout default design into that one. Oof. Yoko are populating our galaxy from theirs. That is not so friendly. The Yoko are pretty BA. It kind of stems from the fact that they cannot design new ships, unfortunately. The Yoko have a special design constraint on their ships that makes their requirements a little too complicated for the AI, and the random number generator to successfully produce new ship designs, so the developers gave them some pretty nice balanced ship designs to start with, which gives them an early game advantage because they have actual well-designed and thought-out ships, but their weakness is that they cannot ever get new ones. So even if they research new technologies, they can't do anything with them, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, they'd be a pretty kick-ass enemy to be facing off against. 4 extras here. Ooh, moon. Just 1. Moons are nice. They give you a free patch of developed tiles to build stuff on. Building things on developed tiles is cheaper than everywhere else. Except for certain buildings that have special allowances that make them cheaper to build in certain biomes. Like cities can be built cheaply on any of these grass-looking places. Or at least maintained cheaply. They are still cheaper to build on developed tiles. Anyway, what do I need for level 3? 4, my bad. 2 Mark 2s, or 2 Mark 1s and a Mark 2. Get some spice. Ooh. Influence, labor, or 2 more of whatever resource I feel like. I think I'll go with Morphic. Get some more population going. What's this all about? Art and cooperation going. And the AI likes to keep these fights alive forever. It's gone on so long that the next Psychist is already up for vote. Ooh. Art gives you the museums, which are handy if you have a planet you feel like totally destroying the surface of. Which sounds weird, but these museums are not allowed to be deconstructed once made, which is what I meant. Because you can fill up a planet with them, but then the surface is filled up with those. You can't do nothing else with it. Suck it. Okay. Ooh. So there's my level 2, and there's 2 level 1s right here. We could get more labor though instead. Now this labor is definitely the superpower of the mono, because 50 labor, that is actually a very significant amount in this game. Most other races would be struggling to have that much even if they had multiple labor generating resources. Who's got free pressure space? You've got 3. This gives 2, I believe. 2. Give me some more defense generation going. Oh yes, got some money, got some time. Build me my barracks. That'll allow me to put my defense generation to work. Who else has got some free pressure? Only 1 on these. He's got 2, but he's using his own resource for now. So we'll have 7 more once I export this. Homeworld's just kind of struggling for pressure. Build me some pops. Found the Terrakin. Oh man, they've expanded quite a bit already. Ah, oh, FTL crystal. That'll come in handy if I can take that. Oh, another one. Jesus. These guys have 2 FTL crystal. That's crazy. FTL crystals is one of the very few ways in which one can increase their FTL generation rate, which is important if you use your FTL a lot, which we're going to be using quite a bit later, once we're actually at war and doing fancy crap. And building gates, of course, because gates have an FTL upkeep to their existence. Tactical satellites will be handy for defense once we need to defend. What did he give me? Ancient knowledge. That'll help me in votes. This one passed, so we can build those things right now. Ah, open election for Senate leader. That could be a big deal, but for now, I'm not going to try to fight for it. I'll try and take it later once the vote comes up again. For now, I'll just consolidate my power. How am I doing in that regard? I'm still weak as fudge compared to everybody else. Alright. It's too bad I don't have the delinquent trait. That levels up by killing these remnants. Oh yes, how's this doing? Ooh, got my increased FTL regeneration. Barracks are done. So when this fills up, I'll be allowed to deploy my defense reserve, which spawns my support ships at a planet. How many is based on how much reserve I have. At 105 I won't get too much stuff, but it'll be a decent amount of ships I didn't have to pay for. Let's see. Build a couple more solar engines. Give me some better energy income so I can start making use of these artifacts. I won't build that yet until he's dead. Out of FTL. I'm gonna need to start building gates. Because as you may have noticed, the cost to teleport some population from one planet to the next increases the farther away from said planet you're going. And since you have to teleport each population individually, the mono use their FTL very quickly. Ooh, right at pressure capacity. But I can build me some megacities. These guys don't get any special bonus for any type of biomes. It's best to just build them in developed areas. Gonna have to bulldoze all these poor civilian hovels and whatnot. It's worth it in the long run. Oh yeah, the metropolis is there. Gotta get rid of that shit. Free up the way for some useful buildings. Because each of these megacities ups the pressure capacity by 9 instead of 5. In addition to increasing generation by 25% for influence, energy, and research. I got some money to spend. We'll start putting gates around. Yeah, there's some resources up here worth having. Defense system. Gain 5 defense reserve. That's not a lot. Interesting. Unless it's like permanently failed 5 times. Nope, it just straight gave me 5. Oh, that was 5 to my max though. Okay, that's better. Better than it could have been. Ooh. Colsunum. That's good stuff. Shitloads of defense generation off of that. Yoko's annexing somebody's planets. Faye, these orange dudes. Oh, I can deploy my defense reserve. How full are you? Pretty much full. But I can fill it up the rest of the way. Ooh, got a tracer out of it. Nice. Now I'm at 22k. Let's get rid of this one. Scan that anomaly. Morphic asteroid. Oh yes, I'm building a lot of asteroid mining bases. I should buy the asteroid mining base perk. Attitude. I need 10 though. Ugh. That'll take a few minutes. City's done. Nice. 2 level 2s and 2 level 1s for the next one. Get a bit more energy collected and going on. The actual position of these things in the system has absolutely no effect on how much energy they give you. It's based purely on what star it's going in. Although how to determine which stars give you more energy is something that at least I have never been able to find. So you could build them way out on the edge if you felt that was better. I like to build stuff in the interior just so enemies can't fly by and attack without actually getting into the system. Because sensors only provide vision on the enemy if they're close enough to one of your stars. So I might be able to see somebody out to like here, and then they'd be invisible. So if our shit was on the edge here, they'd be able to go attack and then leave, and I'd only have that little frame of notice. Whereas now they'd have to go all the way into the middle first to attack stuff. Got a gate up. Gates are important for expanding as the mono because, as previously stated, teleportation costs increase the farther away you are from the planet you're teleporting from, but a gate acts as a direct bridge. So since I have a gate in both of these stars, teleporting from the homeworld to one of these planets costs the same amount as any planet inside the home system itself. So it's worth the 0.3 per second upkeep that this gate is costing me. Because I might be generating less, but I'm also going to be using a lot less. Oh, the homeworld's not at max population right now. Build that up a bit. Won't go over my budget. At the SAR. Ooh, Alondium, that's nice. Ah, oh, vast plains, that's good too. Man, all the good stuff's in the other galaxies. Grass is always greener. Oh. Construction materials, that'll be handy. What are you? Oh, you bastard, Oko. You better not have started scanning this before I did. Ah, son of a bitch. Stole that anomaly from me. If I had noticed, I might have been able to do something about that, because every ship scans anomalies at the same speed, so whoever starts first is going to win, but you can stack that. So if I had like 3 scouts scanning that at the same time, they would have finished it more quickly than that dude on his own would have. But oh well. What can you do? Destroy this douche. So let me pick up that research. I always forget about my research. It's just hiding up there in the corner, minding its own business. Where should I go? Ring worlds and artificial ring habitats would be sweet as the mono. But I think I'll try to go down for the Star Forge. That's a really good one to have. All construction has a 50% reduced build cost compared to normal. The only downside is that it eats stars to do so. But if you have a big enough tractor beam ship to drag it around with, that's not too big a deal. You just use a star until its health is getting a little low, then you drag it somewhere else. Which is fine against AI because they don't know how to frickin' use planet and star destroyer technologies. Even once they research them, they don't bother using any of it. But against people, that's a risky strategy to take because then your stars have low health. So if they get the star destroyer research, it'll be that much easier for them to come in, snipe your stars, last bit of health, and then supernova, there goes your system, along with all your planets. Which is not so good. Not recommended against human players. It's been an hour, though. So I think I'm going to call this an episode for now. Come back to this later. See y'all later.